and it's equal opportunity. INEC, you mentioned, are neutral. They've never intimidated anybody. If political opponents are crying wolves, maybe they are afraid of their own shadows and the uncertainty in the companies they keep. Not me.
Welcome back. I do hope that you heard the president on that particular one where he did say that INEC is independent and they are not interfering in any situation. He says that if his enemies or if the opposition is, raising an alarm, perhaps they are afraid of their shadow. But I wonder if it ties into this conversation, this conversation we're about to have now, if our guest who is all ready for us will be seeing any linkage or if he'll be agreeing with the president given the judgment that they just received from the Court of Appeal yesterday. Barrister Kalu joins us now. He is a legal practitioner and a chieftain of the African Democratic Congress. He's somewhere in Umuahia. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. You do look quite relieved. You don't look tense at all. I'm sure that's as a result of that court judgment. I wonder what it would have been like if it went the other way this morning. But it's good to see you. Can you tell us your immediate feelings when you heard that court judgment given by their lordships yesterday?
You read me right that there is no more tension in the camp of ADC and among the members, the teaming supporters of ADC across Nigeria and even outside the shores of this country. What the decision of the Court of Appeal has always been the law. Section 225A of the 1999 Constitution is so simple that even a kindergarten child that is smart will read to the world that this is the provision. So I wonder where Honorable Justice Peter Lifo got his own interpretation from. And the INEC, the regulatory body that supervises election, and also the custodian of all the electoral materials in Nigeria, came to court, just coming to court. They filed papers, they filed processes, deposed to affidavit that these political parties met the constitutional threshold, which is just winning one seat. And on the part of the ADC won 2 House of Reps seats and 1 House of Assembly seat, despite the affidavit by INEC, the regulatory body. Justice Lifo, on his own, manufactured evidence that was nowhere before him and ordered INEC to deregister ADC. It was bizarre to us. It was bizarre to the whole world. But thank God that the justice of the Court of Appeal yesterday gave the proper interpretation of Section 225A of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And by that, ADC has navigated its way to the ballot for 2027. And that is why everybody in ADC was happy yesterday, is happy, and will remain happy for till we participate in the 2027 general election. Mark.
Well, it's interesting that this judgment coincides with the president's statement. I do not know if you saw that let's say, conversation he had with the leadership of the Catholic Bishops' Conference of Nigeria, who paid him a visit at the State House yesterday. The president said that, opposition they seem to more or less have a level playing field, that INEC does not interfere. And I think you just also said that INEC, was called to witness in this case, and they did say that the ADC had met up. So are you confident then? First, one, do you agree with the president? Then two, are you confident that going into those polls, you do have an umpire that is neutral?
No, if at any point the opposition political parties start to suspect INEC, it is the conduct or the activities of INEC that will make the opposition political parties to suspect them. Just like when the Court of Appeal gave a judgment, and in that judgment, or the concluding part of the judgment, ordered that parties should maintain status quo ante bellum. INEC now became an interpretative body that now interpreted the judgment of the Court of Appeal that did not in any way order INEC to strike down the names of the national leadership of ADC. At that point, by that conduct, it will be clear to everybody that INEC became partisan in the activities of 2023 general election. But if they function within the ambit of the law, nobody will accuse them for anything. The first name in its name is independent, and that is the way it should be. All the activities should be independent. There should be no interference from any quarters, from the executive arm of government, or from any quarters in the country or even outside the country. So we are confident that INEC should do the proper thing preparatory to 2027 general elections. And if they do, Nigerians will clap for them, Nigerians will rally around behind them, and the whole world will thump up for them. That's the preparation for 2027 election is not a rocket science. Yeah, the law is there to get INEC.
I haven't quite, it doesn't appear to me that your response is clear. My question has been quite pointed. Do you have confidence in the ability of the umpire to be neutral and to conduct free and fair elections as we head to 2027?
If you are listening to the foundation I laid, that for them to be neutral is not a rocket science. They can. Because the chairman of INEC, one, is a senior advocate of Nigeria and also a professor of law. So he has all it takes to supervise and superintend all the activities of INEC.
Are you suggesting that they're not? Is that what you're saying?
Based on their past activities, one can say they are not. But we are saying in some occasions they would appear to be. But in overall, that is because of the activities, overall one can say that they are not. But we are saying they have what it takes to be independent, and we are urging them to be independent.
So you do not agree with the statement of the president then, that the opposition has nothing to fear?
I believe the statement of the president, who is a party in all this. Mr. President has said it repeatedly, everywhere he goes, that the politics is all about you grab it, you run with it, and you hold it. All up to him, anything is fair in politics, whether by hook or by crook. So for him to say that the INEC is independent, he's speaking from both sides of his mouth.
Okay. Well, where do you think now? I mean, for the candidates that have now, because you have said everybody in your party is relieved, clearly it does appear that all of your candidates that have your tickets, have a path ahead of them. But it does appear that even the primaries that were conducted within your party were not without question. Have you been able to successfully resolve whatever issues emanated after the primaries conducted by your party?
I'm not. Can you cite one specific incident where the primary of our party is being questioned? One.
Are you saying then that all the people within your party were satisfied with the primaries conducted by the ADC? In a contest, there will always be a winner and there will always be a loser.
some people are good losers, some people are bad losers. The good losers will congratulate the winner, but the bad losers, they will tell you that nothing happened, and that it was not properly done and all that. So those are the bad losers, irrespective of the processes that were adjudged the best in the country. ADC is the only political party in Nigeria that conducted valid primaries across the nation. Mention any other political party that conducted valid primaries in Nigeria apart from ADC. Because we knew that the eyes of the ruling political party is on us, the eyes of INEC is on us. So what do we need to do? We need to do the proper thing so that all we have done will be within the ambit of the law. And that is why today the Independent National Electoral Commission has not questioned or raised any issue as to the validity or otherwise of the primaries conducted by David Marker, the NWC. So we are good to go. And I can tell you, after that judgment yesterday, in my house in the village, you mentioned that I'm in Umaya, I'm from Ohofia. In my house in the village, there was real party, because we knew that was the last litigation that would truncate ADC from being on the ballot. No other litigation affected ADC anywhere in the country. So by the affirmation of the Court of Appeal that ADC met the constitutional threshold as provided by Section 225A of the Rhetoric Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, ADC is now on the ballot. We're just waiting for 16th January 2027 to vote Tinubu out of power and send him back to Lagos. Because he has failed abysmally, he has failed woefully, and Nigerians are waiting for him to pay him back his wickedness and send him back to Lagos.
All right, let's go to Lagos then and speak with my colleague Ayo. I'm sure he also has questions for you. Ayo.
Well, thank you, Maupe. Interestingly, Lagos, I'm pretty sure you also have some interests in Lagos as well, Barrister. But let me ask you this, especially since you mentioned Section 225A. I remember at some point the AGF also joined, in this conversation about the deregistration of some political parties, including the ADC. And one of these reasons was that these political parties, including the ADC, do not have at least 25% of the votes in a state during a presidential election, or secured at least one elective seat at the national, state, or local government election. But there is another one, and it talks about the AGF at the time contended that by continuing to recognize these non-performing political parties, INEC itself is acting in breach. So what are your thoughts on this? Maybe I should begin with this one first of all. How old is ADC? When was the ADC registered by INEC?
ADC has been in existence since 2005.
Okay.
It has been in existence for over 21 years, over 20 years.
Okay. So that begs the question then. I apologize.
Hold on, sir.
Okay. I just wanted to emphasize the question so that you can answer it correctly. So after 20 years. Okay, go ahead.
Let me not take all your questions together. Go ahead, sir. Let me take your questions together.
No, go ahead. That's the question. I mean, since you understand the question already, please go ahead.
Okay. What was the business of the AGF in that matter? To tell you that the ruling APC and the presidency does not want the opposition political parties to be on the ballot. Because INEC was a party in that matter. And INEC is the supervisory body that supervises election. And INEC is also the custodian of all the electoral materials for every election conducted under the 1999 Constitution and under the Electoral Act. And INEC came to court, filed an affidavit, deposed an affidavit that these political parties met the constitutional threshold to remain as a political party. But the AGF didn't see it from that angle. The AGF, because it is working for the presidency and for the
I understand that, Barrister, but can we stick to the substantive issue? Let's forget the other parties involved here now. Does ADC have 25% of elective posts according to the requirements of the Constitution right this moment?
It's not a constitutional provision. That is what Justice Lifu gave to Nigerians as judgment. But the Court of Appeal said yesterday that that provision should be interpreted disjunctively. That once you meet any of those requirements, that you are good to go. And what are those requirements? That the political party should win one seat at the State House of Assembly election, one seat at the National Assembly election, or 25% in the state of the federation during presidential, and then 25 in the local government during governorship. And on the side of the ADC made two of those criteria, which are ADC won two House of Reps election in Kogi, and also won one House of Assembly in Kogi. And one of the people that won the election, Honorable Eleke Adejide, even took the party to court. And the party won Adejide in court. Justice Lehman delivered that judgment and said Senator David Mark was duly elected as the national chairman of ADC with other members of NWC. So, my brother, today the law has been properly interpreted by the justices of the Court of Appeal that section should be interpreted disjunctively, meaning once you meet any of the criteria, you are good to go. And ADC met two of those criteria. So how can you now say that the ADC did not meet the criteria? Okay. It is just Mr. Tinubu, APC, and the Attorney General that didn't see it from that prison.
I'm almost certain that
they were put to shame yesterday. Thank God they were put to shame yesterday by the justices of the Court of Appeal.
Well, I'm almost certain that the judge, the ruling did not in any way reference any of these other individuals that you're talking about, speaking to the substantive issue of the responsibility of INEC. Now, it is also not normal for anyone to...
You raise the issue of the role played by the AGF in that suit. What was their business? What was the business of AGF? AGF is for you and I. It's not just for the ruling party. But AGF became partisan. AGF became partisan. It is for all Nigerians, for the interest of all Nigerians. But from nowhere they became partisan. That is to tell you that the government of Tinubu does not want any opposition. They are in panic mood. And we are ready for them in the general election. You are in this country. See what will happen in January. See what will happen in January. Nigerians are going to pay back Tinubu in his wicked ways.
Anyway, so to the issue again, you would also agree that there are a number of times when officials of government, and I'm sure you understand these things, have an onerous task of looking at things the way they are. For instance, as at the last count, I think INEC has about 93 million voters in the country, and we're just adding numbers now. The voter registration, continuous voter registration just was suspended on Sunday, just this Sunday. That means a good number of people must have been added, and the numbers may rise above 100 million people. But then there are those who are asking the question whether or not indeed we had up to 93 million voters in Nigeria, because there are a good number of people who may have left the country, who will not be able to vote again during the elections. There are those who may have passed on for one reason or the other. There are those who may, for one reason or the other, they may not be able to vote again. Yet, there has been no audit of the register. What are your thoughts on that? Because at the end of the day, these things always add up. We always look at the percentage of voter turnout we judge that by the number of people on the INEC voter register.
The INEC raised the issue. INEC even wanted to do this audit. But because of the trust issue, Nigerians rose and refused and rejected that audit because it was very close to election. How can you start an audit few months to the election? What it means that if you start that audit, so many people will be disenfranchised. So if INEC had been very sincere, immediately after the 2023 general election, that was 3 years ago, they would have started the audit. At least by now we would have cleaned up the INEC register. But they didn't do it. They want to start now to start the audit. Nigeria said no. Leave us the way we are. Let's go to the pool and vote Tinubu out because he has failed Nigerians. He has failed Nigerians. People, I came to my village as I just left my village this morning, and I'm in Umaya now. I know how much I have spent giving to poor people in my village. To eat is a very big problem to people in the rural areas. I know it's also happening in your own area, and we have a government that should take care of the people, and we have so much money. Subsidy removed, money getting from subsidy shared among themselves, looting everywhere, and you want the people to return people, the government that's put them into abject poverty. They won't do that, and they're saying they will rig election. We are waiting for them. They thought what happened in 2023 there was a glitch. So to say, that was the first time I heard about the word. There was a Rhetoric glitch. It will happen again this time around. Nigerians are waiting for them. And we keep saying, we are not going back to the court. You hear them, we'll go back to court to reclaim mandate. We will not go back to the court. We will reclaim the mandate on the 16th day of January 2027. That is where the whole thing will end. Nobody has monopoly of violence. He will say, go, beat them up, take the vote, run away with it. We wait for them on that very day. Nobody is going to go to court to go and...
This is tending towards the kind of rhetoric that I don't think even you yourself will support. So when you are saying, for instance, that no one has the monopoly of violence, are you going to also meet violence with violence? You are a lawyer. You know that such automatically that is making a call.
No. We are saying, watch your language, we are going to meet violence with violence. I say, yes, we will not start violence. But anybody that thinks that he has violence, we will meet him on
Should there be violence at all, barrister? There shouldn't be. President Jonathan I remain saying that election is not a do or die affair.
You saw what happened in Lagos State. You saw what happened in Lagos State in the last general election. You saw what happened. That people came out to vote. And they were beaten up. They were maimed, and they were chased out of the polling units. It was everywhere. Your station tenants covered it. So we are saying any person coming thinking he's going to inflict pain, inflict injury on Nigerians in 2027 general election, that person is a joker. That person is a joke because we are ready.
Again, barrister, you are a lawyer. Just a moment.
If they want it peacefully, we will do a peaceful election. But if they import violence,
you're a lawyer.
For them on that very day.
Barrister, you're a lawyer. Now, the issues you have raised, they sound. Just a second. The issues you have raised now sound like things that should have been taken up in a post-election process. Was there any action with evidence taken up by you? Just a second, just a second. Was this matter taken up by you or anyone that this happened in a particular locality or the other? Did any political party go to court or call the police and say, these things happened, let us address it justicably?
You know the truth, but you do not want to accept the truth that your station covered all the violence perpetrated against Nigerian citizens that came out to vote on that election day. And some people went to court. And you saw how the verdict went. And Nigerians are saying, because we thought we are in a country governed by law, where violence is at no time tolerated and shouldn't be tolerated. And people now use that to inflict pain on them. Some people even lost their eyes. Some people were told to leave Lagos if they cannot vote for a particular political party. And at all that, nothing happened. And somebody with all this criminality, the court affirmed his victory. We said no problem. Once beaten, twice shy. Nigerians will not allow it again. Anybody that thinks he's coming on that very day, listen to my word very well. Anybody that thinks he's coming out on the election day, on the 16th of January 2027, to inflict pain or to cause violence in the election, that person, I will say sorry to that person. Nigerians will say sorry to that person because we have learned our lesson and it will happen again. That is the message to the people who are planning to come and create violence on the day of election.
Well, Barrister, I'm hoping that you are not calling for violence, because the rhetoric, the way you're sounding, you are essentially telling people not to come out to vote because nobody wants to jeopardize their lives. With this kind of rhetoric coming from you, I don't think anyone would want to come out to vote if you are saying that we're going to meet violence with violence. That's the way it is sounding.
I said any person, let me repeat myself for purposes of emphasis, any person who is thinking that he's coming out on the election day to perpetrate violence, to create violence on the election day, that I say sorry to that person. That is my language. I didn't say we will create violence. I didn't say we are going to perpetrate violence. I never said so. But I said any person that is thinking about it, that what happened in 2023 will happen again in 2027, that the person is a joker. Because the person will receive it in quantum. We will be back to the person. That we will come out on that election day, prepared to vote, prepared to conduct ourselves in a democratic manner. Vote, wait for our vote to be counted, and once it's counted, declared, we follow it to the collection centers across until it's declared. But once you think you can come out with a gun, you can come out with all this leather weapon on that very day, my brother, you will meet the water.
I'm also hoping that you would join other people in gathering evidence so that these matters will be taken to court as opposed to Nigerians taking the law into their own hands. Thank you so much. Just a second, we have to go, Barrister. We really do have to go. Thank you so much for your time this morning. Barrister Kalu Kalu is a legal practitioner and ADC Chieftain. When we return, we take on a security issue on the bill. To stay with us.